Yeah, obviously Kansas showed what I've known all along. They should have been playing in the NCAA tournament. I talked to Brandon the day of the commit when that came out. I felt like they were a lock. They're obviously going out to prove that. I think the start that they got off to is evident of that, and the home crowd was amazing. Have we all heard yet where the next one's at? Do we know? I hope they go on and win it. We started our season with a closed-door scrimmage with those guys to help make each other better. I think we both did. Unfortunately, we had to play each other before the finals.
What do you remember from that scrimmage?
Not much. Not much because, obviously we were, at that point in time, we were all still searching for who was who and who was what. He had more depth back then. I think once they've started really tightening their lineup up, and they're just really hard to guard, you can't focus on any one person or somebody else takes advantage of you. I think they become very cohesive and very, very difficult not only to score against, but to keep from scoring. I think from the beginning of the year, they become more balanced. At the first year where they were really hard to score on, now they're good on both ends of the floor.
139 days season, the longest season that this program's ever had.
Yeah.
Ups and downs through there. Just what do you remember about this group?
The way that they went through handling all those different days. That is a long time. That's one thing I say about coaching basketball. We miss all the cool holidays. You go over 2 semesters with your grades, all of that stuff. It's a long, long season. We tried to shorten it a little bit by not starting as early. Probably as a result, we peaked maybe a little bit too late this year. I think we were playing really good down the stretch. So we'll learn from that. But I'll just remember how this group handled pretty much whatever was thrown at them. We got off to a great start. I didn't expect us to have the preseason we had. We went to California 13-0 and started playing. That's when we ran into an Oregon team and South Florida out there. And then you start off with LSU, who's turned out to be decent. Then we have that week, a 3-game week where you go to LSU and to South Carolina, who's also decent. So I just think everything that came at us, we found a way to fight through it. It was hard sometimes. We had our battles together and with each other, but we finished together, and that's what I'll remember. I'll also look down and see 24 at the beginning of that record. Not all records are created equal. There's a lot of we played a lot of really good teams. I don't know where Kansas's net's going to end up, but I think we played 30 of our 37 games against teams in the top 100 or top 150. So the battles and to get 24 wins, I think we're only the third. There's only 3 teams in the SEC that have played in the postseason, all 5. So we'll start to look back at all that and celebrate that stuff for a couple weeks. NCAA has you take a couple of weeks off, which we'll take. Then we'll start in slowly, and we've got a big summer plan with our foreign trip and 4 freshmen coming in pretty soon.
You talked about that trip where y'all went LSU, South Carolina. This was kind of reminiscent as far as y'all had to end the physical game the other night, hop on the bus and come straight here. Looked like the team could have really at halftime just called it quits.
Yeah.
Came out and punched them in the mouth, in the third quarter. Just what did you think of just the resilience there?
That's what it is. That's the word I would have used. That's who we've kind of been. I did our best. I obviously didn't have us ready to play. I mean, their crowd, their energy, their team had 95% to do with that. But the other 5% I'm supposed to do as a coach, I didn't probably give them a good enough plan to recover after a late game and an early trip up here to an early tip. But that's what you have to do in the postseason. So all credit to them. We did not get off to a great start, but the halftime talk was good. It was go back to what we talked about trying to do. Play a little bit faster, and that was what we did. When I looked down at the end of the third quarter, I saw that 31, and I thought we just scored 12 more points than we had in the whole game. So I wish we could have given them a better game. The crowd was amazing. Our crowd really traveled, and then with the crowd that they drew, I don't see a number on here. Anybody heard how many? Yeah, it felt like a big crowd. What was it? Almost 5. Felt like 10. They kind of squished everybody together, and that was really smart. But no, credit to Brandon. I think he and his staff and this group has really, again, we'll close with what I said. I think they're an NCAA tournament team that just didn't get in this year.
That third quarter had a lot of offense. What did you think was different there? And then kind of what happened in the fourth quarter to have it all plant back down?
Yeah. Well, Prater getting in foul trouble was big. I mean, she's been playing amazing. We went right at her the very first possession, tried to get her out. That was part of it. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I wrote the rules for basketball out there and invented the game. That was a huge part of it. But I do think we played with the pace that we're more typical. Like, I think if you talk to Brandon, he'll probably say the same thing. It was that's the team that they had prepared for, that does play fast, that had some confidence. I think our confidence was shook. I mean, that we've been at home, we've been 15-0, and I think we got off to a 15-0 start in both of our games. And it was like, okay, that's what happens when we go on the road. Okay, now let's relax and do what teams have done to us. And boy, there was one crucial possession. We'd cut it to 8, and there we fouled a 3-point shooter. That was huge. That was a huge momentum swing. So I thought, to answer your question, we started playing faster, and then in the fourth quarter, Prater comes back in. And then I thought, wow, that Mabry, I mean, her numbers may not sit there and scream player of the game, but I thought she just really dictated the pace. She calmed him down when she needed to calm him down. She got a couple of turnovers against us, and I thought she was very, very good at running her team. And then, I think once we started to – the one thing our kids are is pretty aware. They're pretty we live in reality world pretty good. They looked up and saw the score was kind of getting away from us. Had a little bit of a letdown there in the fourth, but again, that was all due to how well Kansas played. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Y'all got it. Good luck.